everyone, I'm Catherine, aka the High Heeled Gamer, and I'm super excited and honored to be a part of Bigfoot Knows Karate Part 3, the director's commentary. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I'm super excited to get into this volume. Now let's go around and introduce everybody.
Hi, my name is Dan Price. I'm the creator, co-writer, and artist of Bigfoot Knows Karate. And thanks so much for watching this today. We're going to have a great time. Casey, over to you.
Hey, I am Casey Allen. I'm the co-writer of this book and had a lot of fun making it. I'm really excited for you guys to talk about it. Catherine?
Chris, over to you.
Chris,
Hi, I'm
yeah,
Dennis
go ahead.
Valencia.
Oh,
I
there you
am
go.
with Homebrew Comics, artist, creator, VP of media, and social outreach.
I am
Chris,
Chris
yeah, there you go.
Sahloff. I am the publisher of Homebrew Comics, president, publisher. Fun title there. We publish Bigfoot Knows Karate. Really excited to be here.
Steven, want to
Stephen
introduce
Robert.
yourself?
Hey,
Hello,
this is go ahead, Steven. Sorry.
no, I'm Steven. I'm a co-host for Bigfoot Club Podcast, and Robert.
Hi, I'm Robert Dominguez. I'm the host of Bigfoot Club Podcast, former Bigfoot researcher. Thanks for being thanks for having me on.
Cool deal. Well, as many of us know, that Bigfoot part 2 ended in somewhat of a cliffhanger, somewhat of a dramatic ending. And now we get to start off with Bigfoot Knows Karate Part 3. And let's take it away.
Here we go. These are the credits. That's me. That's Casey. This is Chris. That's Dennis. That's all of us. But let's just jump right in. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
So, who wants to start us off? Case, you want to start us off?
Yeah.
Kat, how do you want to do this?
Yeah, let's go ahead. So Casey, you can start it off 100%.
Okay, so on the first page, we're kind of walking in on like almost like a a lecture or it's basically a shareholders meeting where the mysterious man in black, Lancaster, is actually talking to the shareholders of Trillion and talking about like how their corporation is literally going to take over the world with innovation and all kinds of other stuff. And it's kind of showing like the outside face of this mysterious corporation that we kind of saw a glimpse of in issue 2. And he's really given the hard sell. And I think, doing a good job of it. And so, yeah, brings us into page 2, where it's, he's basically saying, Trillion is on the brink of global domination. And now we're the gods that create the flame, where we were once cavemen playing with fire.
Yeah.
So he's really kind of, it sounds like he's firing up the shareholders, but he's really spitting some knowledge about as to where he thinks his place is in the world.
So one thing, can I just jump right in? So one of the things I
Absolutely.
love when you hit that first page, Dan and Casey, uh, and I look at it from an artist perspective, I start to see the colors that is kind of a statement to your whole title. Like you see the nice palette, the pastel colors, the heavy blacks, great stuff. I love the silhouette in that first panel. Amazing.
Thank you.
What I really got me hooked as soon as I start getting it, I don't know if it's the nostalgia of the bit, and you guys can tell me. As soon as I read the first 3 pages, it felt like Running Man. Like it took me back to that whole kind of vibe. Like Lancaster reminded me of Richard Dawson, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm in." And I could hear the song from
Okay.
Running Man. If you've seen the movie and I've watched that with Ben Richards, and that whole nine and that soundtrack was in my head as soon as I started reading it. But just again, when you first turn that page, you see the colors, the art reminiscent of Bigfoot Knows Karate and Dan's Magic Finger. And it's kind of soothing when you see that color palette, and you're like, "Oh, I'm back in for this ride." And like, here we go. And then as soon as you hit that, here's Richard Dawson, and he's talking, talking to shareholders. I just thought it was super cool just to begin the issue like that. You guys tell me if that was how you guys intended it to be, or if there was any kind of influence from Running Man.
No influence from Running Man, but definitely from Wall Street.
Mm,
That
can see that.
was the. In fact, there's the line in from Wall Street. Greed is good. Right at the beginning. I'm partial to the line from a line from a movie. I'm partial to. Greed is good. Well, my fellow stockholders, power is better. I've
Genius.
always kind of looked at Lancaster as a Gordon Gekko type. At
Nice.
least from a front-facing situation.
He's slick.
Obviously, like this is our
Mm,
first. Yeah, this is our first time to see the Trillion Corporation, but we've seen the inner workings of this group that this is fronting. And so for the first page, think of it like a corporate video with this with the
Mhm.
hmm
voice of a
That's what
that
I got.
see a
Yeah.
future where technology brings the
Mhm.
human existence to new heights. I
Yeah.
can't do it, but you get what I'm going for.
Yeah.
And when you get down to it, Trillion, seeing the future.
Yep.
And that's the corporate jargon. And I've worked in Fortune 500, publicly traded companies and shit. And I've had to make videos for, those types of companies with that high speaking, high level, corporate speak. So when I was writing that was very much what was in my head,
Mm.
very much what was in my head. And it was funny when I was lettering this, I was rewatching Wall Street while I was doing it because I was just kind of in that zone when I was doing it.
Nice.
But yeah, this is the public facing front of this bigger organization that Benny and the rest of the cryptids are dealing with. And so, and we get to peel that layer of the onion back just a little bit more.
Can I add also? I just loved the red logo, the red eyes, the red
Mhm.
silhouette, and
Mhm.
that to me that stuck out. To me, it did. And I
Thank
said,
you.
I love that. So
Yeah,
Awesome.
I have not talked to Robert, so I was just that logo stuck out. What I saw was like I saw like Skynet in a way. I saw
Okay.
for
Awesome.
some the outer triangle. It reminded me of the Predator's like aiming thing
Mhm.
where it's like a triangle.
Yeah.
That looks like the Illuminati. I'm getting like OCP RoboCop vibes from it. So that was the first thing I noticed whenever I was reading. I go, "What the heck? This is like really like Skynet or Umbrella Corporation or something." I love it. It was
Nice.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're all kind
Um,
of picking up what we're putting down. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry, bud.
Yes.
I was gonna say it reminded me a lot of like Fringe. If you ever watched the TV show Fringe,
Sure.
Yes.
mad
yes, yes.
scientist kind of feel. But what really stuck out to me in these first few pages was the growth and the storytelling aspect of the books because you have one and two and Hinnagon, and all of those focus on Benny right out the gate. Benny's front focus, kind of action packed or about him. This takes it to a new story level where we're seeing more of like the universe he's in the back, like not the background characters, but a different viewpoint. Where I feel like the other books we really had his viewpoint right out the get go. So that was
Mhm.
cool to me because it's a growth in the storytelling. So that was something that I just wanted to pinpoint like right out the gate was I liked it because I didn't like when you're opening up the books you're like, oh cool, Bigfoot, Bigfoot, Bigfoot. Now it's like, oh, what is this? What are we getting into?
Yeah.
And as a huge fan of sci-fi shows that deal with mega corporations, I was instantly like, oh look, it's like Bill Gates or somebody up on a thing saying, like, hey,
On my
we're gonna
iPhone.
save the world. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. On to the next page.
Okay. Well, we went from that corporate speak to I can get the pages to flip. My goodness. Hold on. There we go. All right, there we go. Now we're into Bigfoot. Now we're into
Yeah.
the
There he
the
is.
the action. Now we're into the bloodletting. So that we're known for doing. Anyway, go ahead, Kat.
Yeah. So, like you said, Bigfoot makes his appearance with the little bunny, which I'm still kind of like, what's up with this bunny? And he's with
Right.
Iris as well. So go ahead, Dan, if you want to start us off with this page.
Yeah, we pick up where we left off. And at the end of Bigfoot 3, Benny and Iris took off, and the bunny noticed them and followed suit. So that's where we left off. They were on the run from the compound, for lack of a better term, that they were in previously. And we had seen, and with Grisha was saying to Eskrid, the Mothman, go find them. That's where we left off. So that's where we are. They're on the run. There's copters. There's bunnies. There's Iris. There's Bigfoot. So they're on their way out the door.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to the next page because it all kind of ties into each other anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Dennis, what are your thoughts on this page?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that I love about at least the color palette and the art that Dan does on this one. Because of the color palette, it's like these nice pastel hues. I love the fact Dan gives you just what I love, a lot of blood splatter. I mean, Benny's just soaked. It's just violence. There's fire, but he still used that really gentle palette. And then you got, the blood parts of it. I love when Eskrid flies in. Dan plays with the eyes. I think he does it really well with his characters. The facial expressions, he always knocks them out of the park. But this is kind of where I get, my little fix of action. And then he's continuing, of course, building his world, bring back the characters from issue 2. So just good stuff, really good stuff, fun. And again, love the action that, you start to jump into right after that beginning sequence, that almost like that one of that prelogue to kind of, here we go. And now the ride begins.
For sure. Steven, any thoughts?
I was just going to point out, whenever I hear the Mothman, for some reason I hear Starscream from Transformers.
Yes,
I can never not hear that now.
Yeah, so whenever I see him, like just the type of wording or the fonts, it's like there's no escape, Annie. Like it just it rings
like
in my head whenever
little bit.
Yes, but other than that, like I love the the artwork on here. I love even like what caught my eye on the bottom I guess panel is just the mountain kind of looks like a skull. If I'm
Council Grayskull.
Yeah. So
Council
it just
Grayskull,
there you go. So I just this was Mothman really shines on this page is what I'll say.
And thanks for that, because now I've never had a voice for him when I read him, but now I do. Now I have a reference point. I'm like, oh my god, that totally fits together. So now I have like a voice for him. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
And on this page, I think it's the first time we've shown Benny be able to like purposefully kind of take himself to the unreal. And not only that, but he brought a few people over with him, whether intentionally or not. So Eskrid and Iris and even the bunny are now in the unreal. And Eskrid, being a seer, is it really kind of rocks his world because he did not kind of foresee this happening. So that was kind of fun to play with and just kind of show off what Benny can do.
I'm going to move to the next page because it all kind of goes together anyway.
Yep.
Go ahead, Case. Keep talking, man.
Okay. Well, on this page, like one thing that really made me I really liked was Dan's artwork on this page, especially like the way it's almost like in a negative. Oh wait. I'm out of where am I?
Did I skip a page? Oh,
I think you did.
Casey. I skipped a page. It was my bad. Sorry. Moving on. My bad. Moving on. I was going to say I don't like the page that we were looking at. Like this
Eskrid is hitting Benny, and it's almost like a negative, like a photo negative. And then like all of the skulls, and there's a story behind all of the skulls, and maybe we'll get there one day, but just know there's a reason that that plane of existence is just littered with
Yeah, no,
that's
I love an
your T2
exclusive
moment right
there. Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun page to write, and even more fun to see how Dan illustrated it.
Honestly, one of my favorites. One of my favorites, it's the close up of the eyes for me. It's like, oh, that's so intense and so perfect. Like I love that panel right there.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a fun time drawing this page. It was a good one. It was a fun one to do. The next page I couldn't stand, so we'll just go.
Really?
I actually really appreciate the art on that page because it takes a lot to like draw like that with the silhouettes in the back. just the whole composition of this page just leads your eye. It looks beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
Like I've said before to Dan, that from every book the tone changes, and this just is a testament to that. How every book gets darker and more bloody, and Benny just carries the. I think when we talked about issue 1, I was like, man, this is cool. Like battle damage, and like pay attention to it because it continues through the entire series, and I really appreciate that.
And it starts so bucolic and beautiful and naturey, and we'll try to, kind of get back to the nature of it all, but like, we're also seeing that nature is bloody, nature is violent. So
can I add also, as a Bigfoot researcher, and I've told Dan this on our show, there's two schools of Bigfoot people. There's flesh and blood, and then there's the group called the Woo. The Woo
I was hoping you'd get into that.
Yeah, the Woo is people who, and I lean toward the Woo a little bit more now that I'm getting older. But the Woo is when Bigfoot's like can step into a portal or a pathway or a zone, and so the unreal, it hit home with me whenever I read that. And like there was a guy, I was telling Dan, there was a guy that was telling me he saw a Bigfoot. It was like two Andre the Giant shoulder to shoulder, and when it stepped into the woods, he says the woods swallowed it up. So the unreal, to me, it hit me right here. So I was really happy to read that. And my favorite line on that whole thing is, "Okay, Bug, let's go."
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Well, all I can say to that is, all right, dude, that's badass, dude. Because because I mean that's the line of thinking we're taking. I didn't know about the Woo, but I dig the Woo. I mean, I'm Wu Tang. But I dig this because that is the school of thought that we're going with in this book. Is the more of the supernatural of it all. With it's not just a giant simian beast running around the wild. There's something far greater going on. So I'm glad that hits your Bigfoot, funny bone there, Robert. Seriously.
Yes, sir.
Because that's what we're trying to get to for sure.
Okay.
More of this page, more of the same sequence. Sorry, go ahead, y'all.
No, I was interested in wondering why this one was like a pain in the butt for you.
I don't. It just was. It seemed like a rush page. Honestly, you're working on a deadline. Okay, you're working on a deadline. You got to get it done. This is one of those pages where it felt like there was a lot of panels. There was a lot of movement. Let's just get it done. So I hope it told the story. I hope it works okay. But this is probably my least favorite panel in the book.
Really? Because I was about to say I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I like it too. I like the
Yeah.
flow of it. And Robert, you were gonna say something. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I love the fact. I know he said he was rushed on this panel, but the part where it says the girl is faster, and it shows because she's a girl with a gun. So if you're a person reading this comic book and you don't know who she is or what kind of power she has, by Benny saying the girl is faster than the Mothman, that kind of, to me, okay, she's got some superpowers that I need to look for or something. So I really like that part.
Yeah, we really wanted to show her value and show that she wasn't some kind of waif, some damsel in distress. We wanted to make her, kind of not earn her place, but show that she's an important part of the story.
Right, because
Iris didn't get enough play in issue 2. Sorry to cut you off, Robert. She didn't get enough play in issue 2. So it's like, so this was we wanted to show Iris's strength in this book quickly and out the gate. You know what I mean? That she's nothing to fuck with, for sure. Pardon my language, anybody who's watching this at home. But yes.
So her stepping out of that panel, with the gun, that to me, that shows badass.
Yeah.
So I love that part. So if you felt like you're a rush, you hit it home right there.
And
Cool.
For me, a couple of panels back, Benny says, "Hold my hand," and they're running, and I'm like, "Oh my God, is she gonna slow him down?"
Mhm.
So that was my concern. And then I see this panel, and I'm like, "Oh no, 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 no! She's
No.
not slowing him down at all. She's
No.
handling herself. She's taking care of it." So I was kind of surprised at you saying that this is one of your least favorites. I actually
Well, and
enjoyed.
only from an art perspective, like from what it told in the story, great. But it was just a rushed art page. You know what I mean? That's just how it
Well,
felt for me.
you could add it to where like the girl is faster, is rushed. It could be from the Mothman's or the Mothman's point of view, just like I can't keep up, and it just
Yeah.
feels like it's a blur. So
There you go.
that's how I'm seeing it, and I love it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
All right,
definitely.
sold.
Yes, next page.
We're now on page 10.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of showing Benny phasing back in, and Iris is, she's wondering like, what is all this? What's going on here?
I love the
Um,
hand holding. The hand holding is everything for me.
yeah.
It's just like two complete strangers just holding hands there, and because they're in it together. It's for me. That's what it symbolizes. They're in it together. Like they may not know exactly what it is, but they're in it together. So
Yeah, yeah, and that's how they phase back in too, how they get
Yeah.
from the unreal back into the real. So
They need to make contact with Benny in order to come back through. So when Eskrid jumped onto Benny's back, he was able to phase with them as he was phasing through. So she
yeah,
has to make some sort of contact with him in order to pass through the planes.
I liked the shift here. Sorry, I dropped out because my internet just cut off randomly. But
Oh, no worries.
but I like the shift. Again, with the colors, with the tone, with everything. That's one thing about this book as we go through it that I really enjoy is the cinematography aspect of it, where we're constantly changing, and you're taking the reader from one scene to the next, and it's not jarring. The art really carries it, and the composition of this page just really complements the story you're telling. How that it's two strangers, like you said, holding hands coming through this. Really appreciated all this piece. And then that panel where you show it gets dark, like they're talking, and he's got his head down and he's covered in blood and it's just dark. Again, that tone just matches everything. And that's something that a lot of people don't appreciate and do right in indie comics all the time, or comics in general, is have the art match the tone of the story. And Bigfoot really nails it, especially like these few pages that we just saw.
Yeah, I'll send my Chris what he's saying. As soon as I turn the page, you get the tone. And I think this is funny. It's like first thing I look at, I'm like, ooh, pretty. And then I hit it with, "Hey assholes, I want answers." That is hilarious. That hit me. That was funny. And then in Cat, right with you. It caught me when they were holding hands, and obviously you're in an action scene. But when you're in a quieter scene, that's you could feel the desert or that the solace of them two walking and they're holding hands. There's an intimacy there in just a simple panel that tells so much just from like their connection. I thought that was really well done, Dan. And even as you move forward in the pages in this small little section of their dialogue, I think it was you, Casey, that referred to it, or possibly Robert said how the wilderness is dangerous, and that kind of will you still you still kind of let your guard down. And I think as you go on, that's where you still kind of see like it's pretty, it looks real nice, and the tone, as Chris said, is great, but they're still not out of danger.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to add that I love the fact that they're holding hands coming out of the unreal. Then he explains the unreal to her, and then he tells her to rest, even though he knows he can't or he doesn't rest. And so it shows that he cares. There's just an aspect of caring from Benny, even though he can't remember his past. So I love that part about this panel here.
yeah. All right, on to the next one. I think you went.
Skip a page? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it keeps
There you go. There
skipping
it
past
is.
a page. Sorry, I don't know
Yeah.
what's doing that. Okay. But
Go.
yeah, then they go from resting and all of a sudden they hear this rattlesnake and again Iris
Back to what
shows her metal.
Dennis was talking about, like you're in the wilderness, you can't rest.
Mm-hmm.
It's still dangerous, it's still wild.
Yeah.
And
And this is prime
and
example
Iris,
of that. So yeah.
absolutely, and she's good. Like Benny says, she's good. She's like, all right, let's make camp. Dinner's ready. She's gonna cook up the snake, and they're good for dinner. So, how do you argue with that?
Yeah.
Frankly,
And I wanted to add also, because the snake is fast, but you already know from the panels before that she's faster.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
Yeah.
so I never doubted that the bunny was going to go anywhere. So
I kind of did just a little. I did just a little. I was like, no, not the bunny. But I wasn't sure if he was gonna get bit and then they just had to save him or something like that. But then I was like, oh, never mind. Iris is there. It's cool.
she's cool, man. She's got this. She's like the Linda Hamilton from T2, man. I mean, that's how I
yes,
kind of,
Yes.
she's, maybe not as, war torn, but and touched, but she's definitely got that survivor instinct in her. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So on this page, we get to see a little bit of what Iris can do outside of being a fast shoot and a fast runner, with Benny explaining to her that he doesn't rest, he just does something different.
Yeah.
Dan, do you want to go into a little bit of this page?
Sure. Yeah, he doesn't sleep. And we've not really talked about that before, but it's kind of always been the thing for me. If you look how he's drawn, he always has these really dark under his eyes, and that's the bags. That's his lack of sleep. And I always draw that in there. Some artists, when they draw him, they don't pick up on that, but I've never told them to. You know what I mean? Like, when they're doing fan art and stuff like that, I'm just always interested in seeing how people interpret the character. But yeah, Benny doesn't sleep, or if he does, it's very little. It's not. That's not how he. That's not where he finds rest through meditation, through moving through planes, things like that. But this is not where he does that sort of thing. And Iris, we learn a little something about Iris here. She has her own abilities, similar to what Lancaster did in issue 2. Lancaster in issue 2, he walks up to Benny and he puts his hand on Benny, and he has a vision of all these things that are going through Benny's head, things that Benny can't even remember. So Iris does the same thing to Benny here. I'm going to go ahead and just flip the page now. I love the picture of the Benny and the bunny, by the way. That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
It's one of the I think it's one of the few times we actually see a smile from Benny. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, does it?
Yeah.
He's not thrilled, is what I would say about Benny. But yeah, no, they go to this next page, and she's looking inside of him, and how he sees himself, or she's viewing what he is, and he says she can see what I truly am: a warrior, a killer, nothing more. And you can just see the bodies, up on those top panels, just decimated, creatures just killed, and with no remorse whatsoever. And this is what Benny sees of himself.
Yeah. The nothing more kind of like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend any different. It like broke my heart. I'm like, what do you mean nothing more? There's gotta be some deepness to you. There's gotta be more than just what you see of yourself. So the nothing more did hit kind of hard for me. I was like, oh, Benny. Like
Yeah, I was about to say it. It's like mental health in a way. It's like you were dabbing into that, like how every person sees themselves, especially every like male figure. Like you'll see like an ugly monster, nothing more.
Yeah.
But there's more. There's always more to it.
I do like. I do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say I love the Vlad background, the Dracula stuff.
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
I go, oh my God, I saw that. I go, yes.
Agree.
So many references.
Love it. For sure.
Dan, I gotta say, I've done, for those who don't know, I've done so much Bigfoot fan art.
I love it.
And I've said this on our whatnot. Whenever I draw Benny, 2 things stick out to me. It is the black underneath the eye, and it's the fangs that come from the bottom and not the up. And every time I draw it, I purposely go, his pupil is usually to the top of his eye, and he usually has a dark, and I usually use sports terms, he has eye black on underneath his eye. And it's just funny. I never thought of the why, but it was one of those features that when I draw him, I'm always like fangs from the bottom, heavy eye black. That's Bigfoot. And when other people do fan art, it's always something I look for. Like, did they do that? And it's funny, Dan, that you actually put an explanation behind it, because I just thought it was an artistic choice. So that's super cool. Super cool, man. And then that page, of course, this is you flexing, dude. I saw this page.
Totally flexing.
Dan, yeah, dude, Dan's flexing right here. That finger is just flexing his ass off. The
Yeah.
creatures, again, Vlad the Impaler, the flames, just well done, dude. That's a good one.
Thanks,
That
man.
you should have enjoyed doing, dude.
I
A
had a
little tidbit.
blast drawing this page. This is actually, it was drawn as originally it was just a sketch of like him fighting the creatures, and then I added in the top section and to make it into this page, and added in what became 3 panels, into it. So it was fun. It was something that I wanted to work in. It didn't really have point to the story in the story's sake, other the creatures and that sort of thing, but what this is an allusion to something that we can play with later on. And I think that's and Casey will back me up on this, that's something that we do throughout this book, is we drop things in here that we get to play with later on.
Yeah, we're
the
putting down breadcrumbs for later.
Everywhere. And so it's like we may never come back to these unnamed creatures for issues, but we got them there and we can do something with them later on. And that's the really nice part about this book. So now there's going to be a lot of threads that are, when the last of the arc is done, that aren't going to be, those threads are not going to be tied up. That's okay. That's all right, because we can do more with it. And that's something that I've talked to all y'all about in different ways, is the freedom of this book, that the concept lends itself to so many different directions. We're not stuck in a linear concept. We can go in so many ways, and it's exciting in that regard.
I just want to touch on what Kat said. A warrior, a killer, nothing more. But the cool part about it is we all know that's not the truth, or I hope it's not the truth, because the page prior, you see him being gentle with the bunny. Prior to that, you see him holding hands with Iris in a silent moment. So there's just so many layers, but his outlook on himself is so different than the panels and pages behind that. So super cool.
Yeah. It's, to be self-aware, what does that really mean? Right? Yeah. Like, we all see ourselves the way we see ourselves. Maybe our me can see ourselves as warriors and the other way around, or whatever, but it doesn't make, however the world sees you versus how you see yourself. How you see yourself does not make it any less real, because everybody else sees yourself one way. You've got to be able to rise to the occasion. You've got to be able to work past, mental blocks and instabilities and things like that. We all have traumas and things we're dealing with, and Benny's no different. Isolated from the world for several years. Nobody's seen him, talked to him, touched him. Nobody knows him. What would that do to you? What would that do to you? And I think it shows up. That's a question we've asked since the beginning, and it shows up more and more as the story goes on. He does not know how to go from just being to be completely alone, then surrounded by enemies. Now he's got friends. This book went from a solo Bigfoot to like a team book in 3 issues. You know what I mean? In its way. I'm blathering though. There's just a lot. There's a lot going on here.
No, there is. And it may not have a lot of words to this page, but it goes deeper than what the words are themselves. Because he's still being hunted. He's still, so part of that still rings true to his head, but he's missing, or in my perspective, he's sometimes missing the beauty around him within his newfound team. And I don't even know if he knows the word team yet.
Right.
Good point.
All right. Next panel, please, or next page, please.
Sure.
Okay. Before anything, I am a sucker for your silhouettes, and this has my favorite silhouette of this whole entire page. Like the fact that it's purple, black, and then it's the bunny, and then it's Iris's hair and the fire, and I'm just like, damn, Dan, chef's flipping kiss all the flipping time. Every book has one of my favorite silhouettes, and this is no different. And this right here, like I can see that section as a poster on my wall 100%. So chef's kiss.
Oh wow.
You always find a way to amaze me with that. What strategy was it that you decided to do bunny, fire, Iris's hair?
No. Time. It is I've got a 6-panel page. I got to set a scene in there somewhere. that was like that was the calming moment, that fourth panel in the page, right?
Mhm.
Where Iris has decided, she's like, I'm gonna get some sleep, you go do whatever it is you do. And she
Yeah.
lays down and he's just having his moment, and and it was just to show that in all this chaos we've had since, page 10 on book one, this is the first calm moment this cat has had. And I think that it was just give them that moment. You know what I mean? And I think, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's, and doing it as silhouette just made that much more sense to me.
I do also love that he's holding the bunny instead of the bunny just being off to the side of him or by his
Yeah.
feet. Like he's holding the bunny almost like a emotional support animal at this
Yeah.
point. So I love it. Chris, any thoughts?
That was my exact thought when you said emotional support animal, just the way he's holding it, this big, Bigfoot character that goes through and he's fighting and we see him covered in blood, all these battles we've seen him through. And it reminds me of that dad that goes to work all day. He's angry. He's worked in a factory. He's been beat up. Probably things have fallen on him. He's just not in the best of moods. And he comes home and he sits down and like the cat that he didn't want now sits on his lap and he's like petting it. And you know what I mean? Like we've
Yeah,
all
that's
had
like the
that dad
perfect
who's just like, I don't
analogy.
want that dog or I don't want that cat. And that's just what
Yep.
it reminds me of is like after that hard day of work, you sit down and like your
Yeah.
pet just jumps on your lap and all that stress and everything just goes away for a minute and you kind of like just see it there. And I loved it.
Yeah. Steven, any thoughts?
I do like you were touching base on the silhouette picture. That's definitely I could see that as a wallpaper. It's fantastic. I love it. But yeah, that it's what really like I don't know. I wouldn't say bothered me. I guess it's just there's a reason for it. Is Iris saying, "Damn, you're broken," and then just walks away, and you can see like Benny's like face, like, yeah, yeah, I know. Like on the next panel over, and it's just like there's got to be a reason why. Like, it was it just too much for her? She was like, no, she saw something else that he probably doesn't remember. I don't know. I think there was that stuck with me a little bit more. I was like, damn, what does she mean by that? Like, I know he's broken, he knows it too, but she probably saw something more. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I just automatically thought that she just felt what he was thinking. The whole I'm
Mm-hmm.
a warrior, I'm a what was it, a
Yeah.
killer and nothing more. I just that when she said you're broken, I thought it was more of she could feel what he was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how
Yeah.
And
I ran with that. So yeah.
I love all the different interpretations to the moments. Like I do. I love that people, Stephen, you picked up on this versus what Kat picked on over here, picked up on over there. It's, I mean, it even goes back to something like Dennis said in the first director's commentary, where you picked up on that you were like, well, why you only say that there was a Cthulhu? Why, is there more than one? Y'all pick up on little things, you know what I mean, all the
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that. I'm not really going to say anything about it. I'm just saying I love that y'all find it.
I wanted
Go
I
ahead.
wanted to add, as a Bigfoot researcher, in theory, whenever Bigfoots move around as a family, there's always like a sentry that stays awake and watches the whole pack. I know
Right.
Benny's solo. He's by himself. He's a lone guy, but his pack is the bunny and Iris. And so to me, that
I
that
like
hit
that.
that hit home with me
Uh,
because he's the sentry and he's keeping watch over his family. And so I really like that part. So to me,
Thank you for that
nice.
because that's actually like really interesting
That's
tidbit. I had no
Mhm.
idea. So that's
mhm.
actually pretty cool.
that's very cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Next page, please.
Next page, please. Okay. So hold on. Yeah. So yes. So he's talking to the bunny, and then he goes into his meditation. And
Mhm.
this is where he finds his rest. This is where he finds healing. But for him, at this point in the book, it's not rest and healing. There's confusion. I've confused. I'm confused for 1,000 lifetimes. Why am I being hunted? Why can't I remember all those that remember me? And what does this all mean? And he's thinking about Grisha, and he's thinking about Benny. What is that name? Where does that come from? So, I mean, not a lot to break down here unless y'all want to go deeper, but I mean, we can move into the next page because it all ties in together, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. He's been alone for so long, stagnant, and now he's surrounded and on the run. The question is not where are we running from, you know, where are we running to?
Two. Yep.
You know. And so the bunny yet again, has led him. This happened to him in the first issue where the bunny led them to this harbinger, and here we go again. But for now we start to get one of the things I like about this book is, yes, there's some action in it, but we start to answer some questions for you guys, or at least bring the story along further, and so I'm going to let y'all kind of talk about this sequence, the last couple pages, and then I'll answer, or Casey can answer whatever you got.
All right, Dennis, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think, there's a few things. As you go through each scene for me, I do always have feeling I have more questions and I want more answers. So it keeps building on that intrigue. Artistically, one of the things, Dan does, he kills me. He has so many, I always say they're t-shirt worthy scenes. He always has t-shirt worthy panels. It's just really cool to see. Like every time I turn a page, I'm like, I want that on a t-shirt. I want that on a t-shirt. Or, I think Stephen may have said, on a wallpaper. That's exactly what I think of when I see these things. So well done, Dan. That scene, the last page, I think he had shown. I love the reference calling him Benjamin. And then the other thing was when you hit on the word souls, and Benny's like souls, and the eyes are inflected up. Automatically, I looked at all the skulls on the floor, and I was like, again, another layer of intrigue to this. And then Casey, I don't know if you meant that when you mentioned that earlier about all those skulls, look for it. But it was something I thought of when I'd read it initially. Because Benny was looking up, and then the panel above him is just littered on the floor with skulls. I was like, is that what we're referring to? But again, more intrigue, and the layers just keep building. So it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, and like we're going to answer a lot of those questions, and like Dan was talking about earlier, we're kind of throwing out breadcrumbs as we go. This Harbinger character is going to play a much larger role eventually, and yeah, it's. I also just want to say, like, Dan's colors every page just pops so hard. I love it. So yeah, I don't want to like get too, I'm scared if I talk about too much of this, I'm gonna like give away more than I need to. So
well, I do have a question. Like, is the marking underneath her eye have to do anything with Iris's marking underneath her
All right,
eye?
moving on. Okay.
Yeah, moving
on. Got it.
Director's cut. This is what we come to the director's cut for.
That's what I was like.
Damn it, Kat.
This panel right here, I was like, hold the phone. Am I seeing double? And then I went back and I'm like, no, they have the same marking. How did I miss that? And so I was like, perfect time to ask. Is there, you know me, I'm always looking for an exclusive, a behind the scenes, something. So, okay. Got it.
So
I wanted to add the last couple panels I've noticed on Benny's garment. There's some lettering. Is that Latin or is that Arabic?
No. That is Japanese kanji. That is the word for Hinagon on his lapel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that came in issue 2. Okay. So and then we released Hinagon, the book after that. But yeah, the gi does say Hinagon down his lapel.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So okay, I'm gonna move on.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a page I really like, especially that top left panel. That is a panel I really enjoy. It was that top left panel of the two of them just standing there talking. I don't know. I just thought that one came out pretty.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, but that was but I mean, there, for once she's giving him information, real information, yeah, he I mean, she talks about the concept of souls with him. She on the previous page, and and she says to him, you're going to be instrumental in the Father's return. And he says, if that's what fate dictates. and she says something like this is the line I like. Don't fool yourself, Hinagon. You're not a creature of fate. You walked the soil before fate was a concept. And I think that says a lot about Benny and his position and where he comes from.
Absolutely.
We're not feeding you guys the story. We're going to work for it. Like I've always said from the beginning, we're going to make you work for this. But that kind of gives you some illusion of who Benny is, where he comes from. So yeah, I thought that was a nice moment there.
Robert, any thoughts?
I was just gonna say, is her character like a watcher, where she's helping, but she's not gonna get involved in the story?
She's a harbinger and not
Yeah.
a watcher, not
Okay.
a watcher that would just stand back and watch from far and never, like a Marvel character or something like that.
Okay.
No, this is
Unfortunately, she kind of has a passive role for now, but given the opportunity,
she does
who
what she
knows?
needs to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll do what she needs to do. She's awesome. And
Dan,
we've kept her unnamed this whole time. Go ahead. What?
No, I was gonna ask. I'm sorry to interrupt. What was your inspiration on drawing the Harbinger? Because to me, I always see. I don't always see movie references. I hate to come across that, but
Yeah.
I see Gozer from Ghostbusters.
That's what I said.
That was not the initial intention, but
That's awesome.
So I said that the first commentary, I said the same thing. I did.
Yeah, she's Gozerific. I know. Yeah.
Dan's like, dang it, I'm gonna draw her differently now.
I know.
I'm sorry, but I saw. I go, that's badass. That's badass.
Yeah.
She looks badass.
Yeah,
she does.
She looks great. No, it's cool. I didn't. That was never the intention. And then Mike from Dork Art Studios told me that. I was like, damn it, Mike. And then I can't get it out of my head now. So no, it's just my shitty cross to bear.
But it works.
Awesome.
No,
It works.
Not.
It works.
No, yeah, I was gonna say no, it's not shitty at all. Like it definitely works. Yeah, no.
And to the page before, I wanted to mention too is that when they're on top of the skulls, I saw like Man of Steel when Clark or Superman is talking to Zod in a dream,
right?
And all the skulls are right there on the bottom of him, and I thought that was cool. I know that's not like what you were going for, but that's where it's a good setting. That's a good
right on.
Yeah, so I love that piece right there.
Cool.
On to the next page.
Okay, on to the next page. Okay, so he's come out of his he's come out of his meditation, and then Casey,
because he senses it. He senses the danger. There's danger in the other world, basically. So he senses it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he has to be on guard all the time.
Back to the century statement that Robert made earlier, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, any thoughts?
Yeah. Make sure my mic's been going in and out. Sorry. As a fan of like magical wolves and things, I just loved how you depicted this. So colors are perfect. Everything on that's awesome. Because I have like the teleporting dog and Crit, and I was like, oh, side book for me and Dan. The dogs face off. I love it. So I really enjoyed that. And again, you use silhouettes perfectly throughout your storytelling. It gives really good focus on what you're trying to do in the panel, and having her as a silhouette there, still seeing the beautiful pink hair. I loved it.
I'm a Miller fan. It shows up too often.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I want to fess up that like even after I think I came up with the concept of like the hellhounds, but I kept writing them as fire dogs in the script, and Dan was like, he kept like, you mean the hellhounds? And I'm like, yeah, fire dogs. So yeah, I just
I love how the fire looks like fur, like it's fire, fur, fire. I like it. It really speaks.
You don't see a lot of faux fire, but you see a lot of faux fur. It's funny how it works.
Anyway. Yeah, and I wanted to point out like the top two, they look beautiful. Like wow, that's gorgeous. And then when they show the bottom panel, like oh god, never mind. There's a little they're not so beautiful anymore.
Yeah,
awesome. He's angry.
Yeah, All right, on to the next page.
Yeah. So,
It's
you know,
dense.
this is Benny just posing off and looking cool, you know, taking out, taking out a hellhound by the neck and and grabbing him by the neck and just cracking his neck, you know. Uh it's funny when you're reading through this, you know, the way that they can die, you know, they're made of fire, but he's cracking their necks. They're getting shot in a minute, you know. So I don't know what the magical powers really are for these things other than just fire dogs, frankly, because, you know, it's not like it was anything fancy to kill them,
Mhm.
but it made
Yeah.
for a nice visual at the very least, I thought.
I
So,
think this would be the
and
scene if this were a movie, this would be the scene where people would walk out of the movie theater because you can't hurt a dog even if it's an evil fire dog in a film.
find
But
out when the feature
You mean the
film comes
Hellhounds?
out. Yeah, the fire dogs and hellhounds, exactly.
Yeah.
Hellhounds, Casey. Hellhounds.
And is there a theme? Because I went back to issue one. Remember where I believe he killed a wolf.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw this and I
yeah,
immediately smiled because I was like, oh, taking down another
Throwback.
canine.
yeah, yeah. In fact, it's funny because when we'll show that panel in a second, but yeah, all of a sudden in the middle of the flame dog fight or fire dog fight or whatever Casey calls them, all of a sudden this panel opens up, and our boy from issue two is back, and
Yeah.
I couldn't have
Hell
been more
yeah.
happy to see him, man.
Yeah.
Diego the Chupacabra with a shotgun, and
Yeah.
I
It
was
looks so
so
good.
happy to see him because I loved this character from like the moment we started writing him up, and the fact that he gets more play in this issue, and even more play in the next issue. So much play in the next issue. I can't
Oh,
wait for y'all to see what
Oh
we do
yeah.
with him in the
I
next
Yeah, it's
like
issue
gonna be
that little
nuts.
because we turned
tidbit.
something. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. So anyway, y'all go ahead.
So we're on page 21 now? Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we're on the yeah.
And Diego, it just kind of we wanted to showcase what Diego can do. You know, it sounds obvious. He's, Chupacabra with a shotgun. Also, like just coming up with the names for these characters has been a blast. And I think
Absolutely.
sometimes we'll we'll either piss each other off or crack each other up with just like how ridiculous the names could be.
Yeah.
And it we wanted to kind of showcase like, oh, he's more than just a chupacabra with a shotgun.
Right. All
He
these
also
characters
has
are though. That's the
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
It's not, we're not, just going, skin deep on these characters. There's a lot going on with them. And, Iris, Benny, Diego, the bunny, there's a lot there. I mean, as we go forward and we move on through the pages, you'll get to see, that there's personality there. And I think, you know, personality goes a long way, right?
Yeah,
It,
I think that's what keeps bringing us all back is the fact that you don't tell the whole story right then and there. It's like we gotta continue reading in order to find out
Hmm.
what is it to these characters. And I think that's that intrigue, that mystery, that wanting of knowledge is what brings us back to all the Bigfoot knows karate comics. So thank you.
and
Thank you.
Dan really had a lot to do with Diego Chupacabra with a shotgun, with his character and how he's written and the type of like his personality. And it was fun seeing that come out on the page and in the script because we'll like toss stuff back and forth. This issue was a lot of fun to write, but we finding our way through it, we knew where we needed to go and we knew what needed to happen. But I mean, it took us a little while to figure out how to navigate it without just overloading and putting too much in. There was so much that we had to kind of judiciously um, navigate through, and Diego really helped. His character really helped in making the story flow.
Yeah, he helped bind the thing together. Originally there was going to be a different scene in the book, and Diego was going to show up in that scene, but we eliminated a couple of characters out and kind of eliminated out about 6 pages of the book actually. And those characters have been alluded to in this one, and will show up later on. But in order to kind of take the book, I mean, the book was 38 pages, man. We were going to end up picking a 48-page book if we wanted to do, everything that we needed to do. And so Casey made some suggestions, and we made some cuts that actually worked well because we were able to chop some things out and put a little bit more action into it, which I think the book needed. Otherwise, it was going to be a lot of story and not enough action. And it's a Bigfoot that does karate. Come on, we need some action. So yeah.
This page, by the way, I love, especially like the shadow of Benny in panel 2.
Yeah.
How he's just kind of swathed in shadow on the front, and then you see the light from the hellhound on his face and shoulder. It's just fantastic.
I just like how the hellhound gets shot, and then it's like fades to black. It's like all the fire has gone. And he's ash.
Left
like,
his body.
That's so dope. Like that's such a great, I don't know, scene to depict. And then he's like, I told you she's good. So it's like, you know.
Yeah.
Dennis, any thoughts?
Just wondering who scripts Diego. I love the way he talks. It's all that, I just love his lingo.
That would be me.
Nice.
That would be, thank you. Okay, so here's the deal. I come from Central Texas. Okay,
exactly.
This character derives from the South Texas Mexico border. That is where the character's from. I wanted to very much make sure that the character spoke in the vernacular from that area. I talked with a lot of friends who are Spanish speakers from that area, and we talked a lot about how he would communicate. The character himself, like the personality, if you wanted to take it from a movie. Did you ever see the movie La Bamba? Anybody ever see the movie La Bamba?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you remember Bob? Yeah, do you remember Bob in La Bamba?
Yeah.
That was the kind of the essence of the character for Diego. That kind of enthusiasm, that kind of,
was
just
Bob
that
the brother?
excitability.
Yes.
Yeah, Bob was the brother.
Yes.
Yes. And that excitability, that was kind of the essence of Diego. And that shows up more in a couple of pages when Benny throttles him. But we'll get to that in just a second. But any other Stephen, Robert, Chris, any else have anything to say on this stuff?
I like the use of the word way.
Yep. Protection way.
Had to, man.
Yeah.
Had to, man. Yeah, it's.
I just want to thank you for pronouncing that for me, because I had no idea. I'm from Central Alabama. I don't hear that. So,
You hear it all over here.
Yep.
All the time, man.
Yeah.
All the time.
This is the way. That's all you got to remember. This is the way.
Dude, there's a restaurant here in Austin. It's a sandwich place, but they serve tortas, and it's called Subway. And,
oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Genius.
And
That's
we
great.
ordered from there one time. It was pretty good. It was a damn good torta. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah,
We're gonna have to go there.
You have to come and check it
Yeah,
out.
Yes.
Check it out. All right, next page.
Yes.
Oh, now
All
we're
right.
getting into some meat and
Yes.
potatoes right
Now.
here.
So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, like I was actually kind of surprised at how much wording was on this page. So I reclined back and
Getting into the Claremont era right here.
Yeah, right.
I was like, wow. I was like, all right, they really went for it with this page. Like, let's get into it. So, Robert, if you want to start us off.
What I liked about this, and I noticed from the other panels, that Mr. Lancaster, Red Eyes, he's always scowling. He's always scowling. That's his demeanor all the time. And so it just shows that he's the evil dude. He's the bad guy. He's the heel. And so I'll just say that.
Absolutely. Nail on the head.
Stephen, anything?
It's just this is like, we're getting to like the villain, I don't want to say villain arc, but like the villain, you see the triangle right there where Dan, like when you talked to us on our episode, I got a lot of Zod
Yeah.
vibes from him. And yeah, no, just the way you structured it here with, you know, the tentacles and all that stuff, it just looks very, very menacing and
Creepy.
yeah, you creepy and you yeah. That's what I got from whenever I was reading. I was like, yeah, that's we're getting like what someone said, we're getting to the meat and taters here of the whole thing here, because he's gonna do his every villain like has that speech or that little like dialogue here.
Monologue,
So
yeah.
yep. So yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it. This was definitely a well needed page for this chapter.
Now,
Oh,
Casey, when it came to writing it, did you guys collab on the writing, or did you present this as the speech itself?
So we collabed on this, but a lot of the dialogue on this was Dan's, and there's a line in here in particular that Dan put in where Grisha may be a man of many faces, but mine has been here since almost first light. And I thought it was just like, given what we need to explain about the character and everything, it's a really good
Mm.
kind of a breadcrumb to kind of give you an idea of what's going on with him and what his motivations are. So when I read that, when he, you know, showed me that part of the script, I was like, "Ooh, I like that. That's well done." So yeah, yeah, we we really tossed the ball back and forth a lot, but um, I think this page was a whole lot of Dan.
Okay.
I don't know. I lost count. It's cool.
But
We're just doing our thing.
like it's crazy, but it really is because like I had the scene was a thing that I had written, and we just kind
Mhm.
of a lot of the time I'll go like, all right, this, you know, I want to do this scene, and I'll write it out, and I'll have dialogue or whatever, and I'll be like, this is what we need to express, or this is what I'm thinking we need to express, but you know, and we'll just kind of pass the ball back and forth.
Okay.
And Dan is really good at voicing these characters, and so a lot of the voices is Dan's kind of coming up with, you know, who they are. So
Nice.
yeah,
I
Dan
think
did a
about that
lot
all
on
the
this page.
time. I think about these characters all the freaking time. What would motivate them? What do they sound like? What would you know? And
Yeah, and
so, go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to point out one thing on the bottom panel of this page.
Mhm.
You see Grisha, and he's kind of walking. You see his like the silhouette of Grisha.
Yeah.
Um, so I had a good friend of mine, Eric Carmen. He passed away a few years ago, and he did some fan art of Grisha and of Benny. And Grisha had these kind of like tentacle parts of his robes just kind of drifting away on the bottom, and Dan was like, I never thought of him like that with you know his the way his bottom is. And after that, I think it was just like hinting at tentacles, and then
Mhm.
after that Dan was like, oh shit,
This
yeah,
is
that's going
going.
in the book.
Yeah, that's one of the book. Thank you, Eric.
That's
And
awesome.
God bless you, Eric,
Yeah.
wherever you are, man.
Er-
Love you. I
Yeah.
hope you're doing great, man. Seriously,
yeah,
Eric was a really nice
seriously.
guy.
Yeah, an amazing guy. He left
Hmm.
behind a wife and, you know, several kids. Fantastic guy. I love him to death. He was from Indiana, and I met him through the Comic Jam, which is how I met Dan.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was really just he shared in the joy of making comics. So I would send him pages and stuff that Dan and I were doing, and he was just such an amazing cheerleader and uh, just a positive voice.
That's a great way to
So
honor a friend. That's awesome.
yeah,
That's great.
uh, everybody needs you know, everybody needs somebody like him, and just yeah, I miss him every day. He's a fantastic guy.
Aw, that's awesome. It's awesome to honor our that you guys even get to, honor someone, have a platform to honor someone that loved your work. So
Yeah. Eric
thank
Harmon.
you for sharing that. Thank you for
Good
sharing
dude.
that.
Thank you.
He was a real good dude.
Yeah. If nobody else has anything else, let's go on to the next page. Yeah. This.
So no, Chris, I
So-
did not draw this with my finger. Just so you know,
I love this
I did
page.
not draw this with my
What?
finger.
I asked Dan about this
No.
earlier. I was like,
Yeah.
how'd you draw this with your finger?
No,
I've been
I
waiting for
didn't.
this one. This might be like my favorite page just from the layout. I'll be quiet though.
No, go
Oh,
ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
start us
Go,
off.
go,
Start
jump
us, kick
in.
it off. Yeah, go
Oh
ahead,
no,
Chris.
I love when we come back like full circle on things. Big thing about getting a book like this where you have a lot of different characters that are intriguing. But it's also a book where death is imminent for a lot of these characters as well. But to see it kind of then bring this character back was awesome. Throwback to issue 1, the big reveal, Kung Fu Thulu. One of Dan's big selling points was Bigfoot versus Kung Fu Thulu, and I was like, Bigfoot knows karate versus Kung Fu Thulu. Let's just make marketing so much easier for you, Dan. And then to see this
Man.
panel for one, again, I love sci-fi stuff. I love all the dark, mischievous things that happen in there. And when you walk in and you see all these little like containment units, and then that right in the center, I was like, I know where this
They're
is
all
going. Okay,
filled.
this is cool. Got real excited. Dialogue's perfect. You see the eye open. It's like that Darth Vader scene, where he's in the, or even if you go to the good guys, you got Luke in 1, 2, and Star Wars, and huge Star Wars nerd. So it's just like, oh, and then I dig in deeper. I'm like, wait a minute, that one's like massive in comparison to the other ones. So what are they growing in those? And what's going on over here? Because these guys are tiny. This thing's huge. How did he draw this with his fingers? And so I probably spent a good 10, 15 minutes looking at every little thing to see if I could see like a hint of a character in there. Because it's, I'm reading the digital copy. So I'm like zooming in on his
Yeah.
artwork. And then I'm like, how did he draw this tiny with his freaking fingers? I hate this guy. But he uses mouse on a little bit of it. So,
Yeah.
I don't feel as bad as an artist now.
Wow.
One thing I haven't commented on yet, but I do love the way you do your panels. Just it's messy, it's edgy, brings back that 90s feel on a lot of things. Like it does, like it's not super clean and it fits the whole tone. So I love it. But yeah, this is like my favorite page in the whole book right here.
I saw this page and I literally went, oh shit. And Zach is sitting next to me. He goes, something good. And I was like, if Dan gives me the okay, you're gonna read this one too. Like
Well,
this,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
because
Zach's in the family.
Zach's been Zach's been reading these as well. And now I literally turned the page. I went, oh shit. And he goes, something good. And I was like, I'm not even gonna tell you what I'm looking at right now. Because I was not even close to expecting it. Dennis, any thoughts?
Yeah, I guess the page before, as I go to the story, to me, Grisha was the bad, like he was kind of my big baddie, and then to realize that Lancaster is bigger than the big baddie is super cool. Like I want to know more, and that line of First Light, Casey, that stuck out to me too. Like, what does that mean? So you turn the page and you see this banger. Chris, I did the same thing. I was looking through those canisters, and Dan, I was looking for Easter eggs because I know if I had done this page, I was like, what
Yeah.
cryptids in there? Who's that in there? What guy is in each canister? I was looking for our characters, like I would have put a Caliber or
Yep.
Samedi in there, something like that. But yeah, I had a blast on this panel, this page. Just well done, dude. Just it's
Thanks.
kind of breathtaking in the scope of it. And the page before too, the walk down the hallway, just well done. The perspective and the sense of enormity of the space. You just turn the page and it's just backs that up. But just really, really good page and page layout, as Chris said.
I thought I was the only one that was zooming in to find little
Each little canister.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, a mermaid. There's a mermaid there.
I
Yeah.
know. Oh yeah, I saw that. That was like the first,
Is there a mermaid in
the
there?
second thing I saw. The first thing I
Yeah, it
saw
looks like a
was-
mermaid. There's a couple
Yeah.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the
It's actually a sea monkey. It's a giant sea monkey.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's even better.
Yeah.
Well, I drew
And
this
there's-
so long
Anybody.
ago, dude. I don't even know.
there's like a squiggly line too on like the far.
Yeah, there's a squiggly line. There's just a squiggly line in there. I'm like,
There
I'm
is.
lazy. Let's just put a light squiggly
No,
line
I
in
thought it was
there.
an eel. I'm like, is this like a?
It could be a snake or eel or something.
Yeah. So now I'm just like, do these little canisters? Is it like the reverse of Shrinky Dinks. Do you guys remember playing with Shrinky Dinks? Like you would put
Shrinky
them in the
Dinks, of
oven and they would
course.
shrink into. Okay, so is this like the reverse? You take it and you put it in the enlarger and make a huge
Ah.
monster out of these little canisters. I'm just like, oh, yeah, my mind went running on different directions with this page. So
And
Hilarious.
Casey, I'm sorry, Kat, I do have to leave, but I just wanted to say,
okay,
thanks for having me on for this bit.
Dennis, thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
No, you guys
Dennis.
rock. And
Appreciate you.
Thank
sign me
you,
up
Nice meeting you,
Dennis.
anytime.
Dennis.
But
Thanks,
my kids will
Dennis.
thank you. All right. Peace out, guys.
All right. Have a great
Thank
one.
you.
Thank you again, sir.
I'll see you later.
All right, if nobody else has anything on this page,
Yeah.
we can
I
move on
was
to
I was just
25.
gonna
Oh,
quickly
sorry,
say,
Steven,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. No, I just wanted to quickly say this page screams release the Kraken without even saying it.
There you
Oh,
go.
Literally says that.
absolutely.
Like
It
it's just
does.
like release the Kraken. Boss, I was beginning to think you'd never ask. Like that's what I was thinking.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
By the way, I'm so glad we never went with how I originally voiced um, Kung Fu Thulu, because his dialogue would be such a chore.
Oh, yeah, no. You're welcome, buddy. You're welcome. I did you a favor on that one. You're welcome.
He originally, because he's like a kind of a fish man out of water, he would have to like struggle to breathe. So
Yeah.
every other line would be like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was a terrible idea, Casey. But glad that Dan talked some sense into me on that. So on to 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. All right. Dan, do you want to start us off on this one?
Establishing shot. This is let's get some information out there to the reader, and Diego's going to be the one who gives us that information. Okay. He's got a little airstream there, that's broken out that they're hanging out in. He's trying to feed him, and basically the bottom line is that Benny is not really buying much of anything. He's got, like I said, he's gone from completely alone, surrounded by enemies. Now he's running with friends, and who is this guy? And that's really, I think, where his headspace is at. Who are you? Who are you? Who is this girl? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And that's where our Chupacabra pal ends up giving us all the information. And I think that this bottom panel right here really kind of spells it out for us. I'm going to read it because it's important. And he says, he asks him who he is, and he's like, I'm just like you, baby. I'm one of God's grand mistakes. Benny, you don't remember because they wiped your mind. They did this to you, man, not me. And this, I'm just going to jump to the next page because it all goes together. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, and Diego tells the story, and he tells us about about somebody that this is really the crux of it right here. All of this is where it's at, because if I can move that down, because now we're gonna, we talked about Grisha being the big bad, and then we talked about Lancaster being the big bad. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to our big bad. This is Typhon. Okay. Typhon is the god of monsters. He's the Greek god of monsters. Okay. And Typhon is the father of, when they've been saying, well, wait until the father returns, until the father returns. This is your father right here. This is your dad. This is dad right here. This is daddy. All right. And, and that's the thing. He is, he's not daddy. We'll call him the father. Typhon is the father of the, and help me out here, Casey, with some of the creatures, the father of the Gorgons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Typhon is the father of Cerberus, the three-headed dog. Typhon is the father of so many creatures in mythology. It's crazy. Okay. He had a wife named Echidna. Okay. And between the two of them, they released a lot of beasts out into the world. And I'm just going to read what he has to say. What you don't know, big guy, is this shit goes back a ways, is in all the way back. The Triad of Typhon is an engine that runs the world. It's been pushing the edge of technology since the wheel. With technology comes power. See, the Triad, they take their name from the banished god Typhon, the father of monsters. Lancaster, Grisha, they put stuff in our brains and move us monsters around like pawns. All in the name of Typhon. Now it's time. The portal of Typhon's prison is opening. With the power of us mistakes, they can fuel the battery to bring Typhon back to the Earth and finally rule the world para siempre. Okay, so that's Typhon. That's our meat. That's our story. This is what we're going towards. Everything we've been building up towards in this book, in the previous issues, builds to this page right here.
Yeah, yeah. The goal of Lancaster is to get Typhon back to Earth, and they're gonna have to use Benny and a bunch of other characters as a means to do so. And so back in issue 2, we see like the prison full of all of these monsters, all these cryptids. That's the why. So we're getting into that, and then having Diego as the guy to kind of spill all this information, I thought was a fun way to use his character, because in issue 2, was it issue 2? Yeah, he was told by Thermonucleodon that he needed to find Benny, and so he's just completing his task. And his friend sacrificed his life to help Diego get to this moment right here. And so yeah, it's I think that this issue has kind of allowed us an opportunity to start getting Diego into the story in a big bad way.
Mm-hmm.
And to utilize his character in a way that makes sense.
And the triangle in the back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good picture, because on the right side you see the moon, a city and a bridge. On the other side you see, I believe that's the Sphinx and the pyramids of Giza.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be he's global, like he's all
Dan's
around the world.
sneaky. He likes to do stuff.
Ancient, yes, or that too. And I had a question on Diego's character. Is he older than Benny? Just because of the words he was using, because you said mijo, like that's like slang for like my son or anything. It was just, I guess that's just
right. No, that was more of a playing with him more than anything else. No, he's younger than Benny. He is younger.
Okay.
Than Benny.
All right. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify on that, but
no, I understand.
Yeah, this picture is, sorry for my language, fucking badass.
Yeah, fuck yeah, go for
nice,
it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would y'all like to go on to page 27?
Yes.
Real quick.
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
There's a thing, and I don't know who in here has kids, but there's a scene in K-pop Demon Hunters very similar to this. And when I was reading it, I showed my kid, and I was like, "Doesn't this remind you kind of K-pop?" And she was like, "Oh my god, yeah."
That's funny.
Nice.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Now we know. Yeah. I'm gonna start watching that for some research.
There you go.
You should. Yeah. Yeah. All right, and on to the next one.
On to the next one. All right, go ahead.
So again, Diego is just kind of putting Benny in class here and telling him what's going on. They're hoping that using the energy of the strongest cryptids, they can draw enough power to open a portal to the prison of Typhon. And that's kind of where Benny kind of comes into play. And they want to harvest or harness the power that Benny has, where he can kind of go in and out of the unreal. So that to draw Typhon out into the real world. And they drop a line about this character named Cray that they need to find. Cray is going to be an integral part of this, and they have to find them. And the end of the page, this is all, talking heads throughout, and like, as hard as it is to draw talking heads, just going back and forth and make it interesting, I think Dan did a lovely job of it. And the last panel I thought was like kind of a badass looking panel where Benny says, "Let's get to work."
Yeah, and I
So
feel like that's that's so Benny. It's like, all right, let's just do it. We
enough
gotta,
talking, let's go.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this is what needs to be done. This is what we're gonna do. Robert, any thoughts?
No, I was just, this is kind of like he was just saying, he's letting Benny know what they had to do, and like Benny has no other memory, so he like you said, let's just go, let's get to work. So that's all he knows is just being a warrior going forward. So I like Diego. I liked how he's how you because I know when we were talking, Dan, on the podcast, you're saying he's going to be an integral part to the next story, and I'm really digging him.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, he's quickly turned to one of my favorite characters. I mean, he really has. I love
Yeah.
Benny, and
Yeah, he's
I love,
rad.
all the other characters. Grisha's one of my favorites just because he's such a prick. But but yeah, Diego found a real big spot in my heart real fast. As the more we keep writing him, the more I keep just fall in love with the character, and I can't wait to do more with him. So,
Yeah,
like I said, we got some cool plans for him for book 4. Like
I was
not
gonna
what you would
say,
expect, which is really fun.
will we see
Yeah.
Which
a
is really
Diego
fun.
standalone? Diego.
Yeah,
No, not
wait.
a standalone, but but you would not be. When we did book 2, people were like, "So you're going to do a one shot with just the chupacabra, aren't you?" I mean, that was like the first words out of their mouths. Maybe down the road, but
Yeah,
I think
we'll
you're going to like
never
what we
say
do with
never.
them. Never say
Diego's
never.
Big
Yeah,
Adventure.
exactly, exactly.
Or call it Yahweh.
This
Yahweh.
is
Yeah.
just me without my shotgun.
It's hilarious. All right, here we go.
Right,
Next
yeah.
page. So we jump scenes again.
This was a fun sequence to write, and as far as like what Lancaster is saying, uh, you know, use your imagination.
Yeah, it doesn't
He's
really matter.
he's summoning some creatures, and as this is a sequence, let's just go ahead and move to page 28.
Yeah,
But you can kind of infer that they're kind of in a temple. And then like these guys, so fun to write. I had a blast writing this. They're such just evil buttholes.
to put into to clarify who they are. These are the creators of the Triad of Typhon. Okay, these are the founders of the Triad of Typhon, which is what they mentioned before what Diego was talking about in the previous pages. Um, I'm not going to get into the history of them. I'll just notice, if you notice, there's a couple of cracked skulls amongst the two of them. Just pay attention to that for now, because you're going to need it later on down the story. Maybe
Okay.
not in this arc. In fact, not in this arc at all. But later on, that will play a part in a
Yeah.
future arc of the book.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily
Hold on
human
one
either.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
So
I like
no,
I like
they're
the
not.
lime green for the
Mhm.
speaking bubbles. It
Oh,
pops
thank you.
so great. It's just so good. Chris,
Is
any
is
thoughts?
the is the
Oh,
middle
sorry, go ahead,
skull?
Stevie.
No, I'm sorry. Is the middle skull like the main bad guy or the main? I mean, they're all
Not necessarily. They're
look.
Not
they're they're
necessarily.
just
They're just
gonna
one's not a human being, and the other two were.
Oh,
yeah.
So
okay, because he stands
yeah.
out a lot. I mean, he's got the horns and everything,
Oh
giving
yeah.
off
Oh
giving
yeah.
off that Shao Kahn Mortal Kombat vibes too. So I was like, okay,
Gotcha.
I dig that. He must be the. When I read it, I was like, he must be the main one. But he just stood out to me.
Yeah,
Sure. Nah,
and
he's just got horns.
they were
White
fun
face
to
there.
write, and just kind of bickering amongst themselves. There's like a deep sense of like distrust and like vanity, and they're just terrible people who led terrible lives for a terrible cult, and now they're telling Lancaster like, hey, you better do this right or you will be replaced. So we could seize his power and replace him with Grisha. And Lancaster is very much, um, kicking back at that. You doubt my leadership? I've led the Triad of Typhon on Earth for millennia. He's kind of listing his bona fides, and he drops this line: Grisha's a puppet. He's muscle, nothing more. and it really just kind of demonstrates Lancaster's lust for power and also how a little bit of the structure of the organization.
Chris, what do you think, boss?
Making sure my mic's good. So on this one, like I said before, when I went back and reread Hinnagon, getting background on the dynamic between the two, this hits even a little bit differently when you have that backstory of like he's just a puppet kind of thing. Not giving anything about Hinnagon. If you haven't read it, go read it because the story's awesome. Uh, Again, I think every page of this book I can compliment your artwork in some way, shape, or form, and this page is no different. I love the skulls. I love the way you've kind of depicted them in this way that like they're glowing. They're kind of like figments, like appearing to him, and like going into him, making him even more dastardly to me. Like I read that and I was like, well, F you, dude. You know, why is my phone? Sorry, work phone on a Sunday. Um, but just the depiction of him and making him darker, making me like him less than I did before. Um, the dialogue, all the artwork works together, but he's a jerk. I can't wait to see him go away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, and I'm just saying that because, like I said, when I went back, because when after reading this, especially last night, and I was like, let me get caught up because um, I know I've been here since the first book, and some of the details between books, I'm forgetting which book it was in, and I was reading Hinnagon, and I was like, that's what I'm looking for, the connection between the two of them. Where was that? And I went back and reread this part, and I was like, he's a jerk, like I
Oh
hate
yeah,
him.
yeah. Yeah. As well you should. There's nothing good
Yeah.
about
I was
him. There's
gonna say,
nothing
I don't think you're
redeemable.
supposed to like this one.
Well,
No.
so one of, and I say this like as a compliment into your book, and like there's a lot of stories out there where they always make the villain someone you can relate to in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
Modern storytelling has removed the idea of a villain, and this is a villain.
Yeah.
I don't see him ever
Very
joining up
arch.
with Benny later. Like we have Apocalypse
No.
joining the X-Men. We don't have that here. Like this would never happen. He is a bad guy through and through. I like it. I like the fact that there are no redeeming qualities to him. That's something I really appreciate about the storytelling is every time I'm like, I wonder what they're going to do with him. Oh, they make me hate him more. They make me hate him more. There is no redemption arc for this guy. There's just simply the end, and I can't wait for it. So,
Right.
again, every page in this book, I'm going to go into something about the artwork because I always loved Dan's artwork. But the storytelling there really, it literally, like when I was reading it, it made me go, where was that connection? Let me go back. And so I opened up the other books and I was like, that's what I'm looking for right there. So I do like how your story connects that way and makes you go back and like check other things and how they connect. And yeah.
Badass. Yeah, I mean, we really try not to leave much to fate. We really try to put those connectors in there. We try and leave those breadcrumbs in there, and hopefully, Anagon was cool because it was a one shot. It was a different story, took place in feudal Japan. But there was that connectivity between at the end there when you had Lancaster and the origin of Grisha, so to speak. Excuse me, I'm burping. Sorry, y'all. But you have this origin of Grisha and this moment with Lancaster and Benny, where you're understanding what Benny's place was in all of this, just a little bit, because time has stretched, way past since Senegon, and we've got this mind wipe Benny who doesn't know anything, but we know he's tied into all of this in a much bigger way than we can imagine. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's more than just him being used as a vehicle to get Typhon back. There's a lot more to it, and we're going to explore that later on. I like how the three skulls are just kind of giving Lancaster the business on this page and
Hmm.
just telling him off like you let him slip through your fingers, the one person we need, you jackass. And at the end of the page, they're saying bring forth bring them before us, bring forth the Father's return. And Lancaster very confidently, he's just oozes confidence with pleasure. So he's ready to roll.
So here's something for your Easter eggers out there. Because Stephen, you've been finding things in the book that I never had planned, but here's one that was very much an inspiration. So when we talked on, you had mentioned Zod when we were on the podcast, and so this is I talked to you about the Terrence Stamp scene in Superman 1 where all the heads are around him, guilty, guilty. This is that. This is that. This is that.
I didn't want to say it.
I
didn't want to say
that
it.
was 100%, 100%.
I love that.
I love that movie, and so that very much came into play from that.
Yep,
The With
I saw
Pleasure,
that.
yeah, and the With Pleasure, that's Clytus from Flash Gordon. With pleasure.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
so that yeah. And I wish I had different words to say other than with pleasure at that last bit because I didn't want to do Clytus, but I was like, oh, but it's so perfect. So there you go. So there's a little aside to Clytus from the Flash Gordon movie with Sam J. Jones and Max von Sydow. So there you go. Anybody else got anything they want to say about this? Or
now you answered my question right there.
I was gonna say I like the constant showing of triangles everywhere all the time. I kind of like that. So
yeah,
the platform.
It is repetitive symbology that shows up throughout the book. Yes, it is. Triangles everywhere.
All right, on to the next page.
Here we go. Okay.
This is a wall page. It's what I call it, where it's so good. Like you could imagine just having it printed up and hanging on your wall. I love how Dan did the colors on this and the poses. We really wanted, Dan was like, we want to get him doing a kata, like doing some just kind of centering himself, and he's also kind of going through his feelings on this page, like I'm getting drafted into this holy war. I don't know any of this, or do I? Because like he's kind of an amnesiac. He doesn't know what's going on, and Diego, the chupacabra, just kind of dropped all this information in his lap. So he's like, shit, this is the first I'm hearing of this. And then going, if you don't mind, going into page 32.
Next page.
Yeah, next page. Again, fucking banger of a page. The art on this is fantastic. From top to bottom, just really, really good. Imagery of Benny. Panel 2, when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah. I mean, I kind of skipped over panel 1. It's fantastic. The anchor panel. Panel 2, again, more just fire. And then at the bottom of the page, it's like, oh shit, what's going on here? Something's happening. And then, unless anybody has anything else to say, I'll leave it there.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah,
we had a
I
man
remember when Dan was drawing this.
It's just badass. Like that's all I could say on this. Nothing but badass with those two pages right there.
And so I
go ahead. Hold on one second, Casey. Chris was trying to say something.
Sorry.
I just remember when you were drawing this panel and you were like, I'm drawing the Manticorpse, and we went into like the story, and I was like, that is so cool. And then when I was reading through it, like to see it in action, I'm like, that's just just badass. I love all the deterioration. You can tell like this thing's mangled, and Benny's just going up against this like undead thing. I just love it. And yeah, so I'll leave it at that.
If I may, so I came up with like this scene. I kind of I wrote it, and then
Casey's baby,
but then
right here.
Dan was like, Manicore, huh? How about a Manicorpse? And I was like, I'm listening. And he so this right here is one of those things where it was like you know, passing that ball back and forth, and Dan just blows my mind with, with how he just took the ball and ran with it. And again, it's really having fun with the names. And so yeah, had a lot of fun with it. And then Dan took it, made it into what it is now, and I'm just like, oh hell yeah, let's rock and roll.
Of
And
course, this is a bitch to draw. I didn't enjoy any of it. Moving on. Now, when he got his tail shot off, I was thrilled. We could move on to the next thing. We didn't kill him, so we can bring him back later. But
yeah,
the Manicorpse is a pain to draw.
I'd poured over like just a lot of different fight scenes from movies and comics and stuff, just trying to think of like cool ways for Benny to use, he's Bigfoot who does karate, so of course let's do some karate. And I think I just dropped a bunch of stuff in Dan's lap, and he was like, okay, all right, let's do this.
No, I loved it. He gave me some good examples of stuff he liked, and said, work this in somehow. And Casey's an amazing writer. He always comes up with cool, unique shit. And, the Manicore was, I mean, like I said, we excised some pages out, and this was some of the action we threw back in. And it was a good call. I mean, Casey knew that we needed it in the pace of the book. And it was an opportunity to put a new creature in, which we always like to put new creatures in. At that point, we didn't have nothing new aside from the Hellhounds. And so it was nice to be able to put something like this in there, vary the characters out, give them a little bit more action, and it works as a diversion to the next scene that we're about to go into. So to the next page, so they blow it. So
another
Homer
badass
comes out here, and blows out the stinger on right before Benny gets it, but they realize that there's something very wrong. Where's Iris?
Yeah.
So.
I'm sorry, the bunny on Diego's shoulder just kills me. Because the bunny's never anywhere like off to the side or on like at the bottom. He's always somewhere unique. So I'm sorry.
He's great. Yeah, the bunny's he's in it to win it. He's part of the team.
Yeah.
Chris, Robert, Steven, anybody?
Every bunny was kung fu fighting.
Okay.
That's what I would say. No,
damn it, Steve.
I was gonna say too, if you could do like it was I think it was 3 pages ago where he's practicing, he's doing like his stances and all that. I was hoping to see the bunny in the background doing the same moves. Just copying. I was like desperate. I go, come on, oh dang it, he didn't do it. But no, the Manicorpse is threatening. I love it. He's right up there with the Electrocante. To me, Electrocante was like, oh my god, because I love Godzilla's like Rodan and stuff. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's just like he's like Rodan. I love it. But yeah, definitely some like these like the last pages of this chapter were chef's kiss. That's all I'll say.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that Benny's silhouette with his eyes looking away for Iris, and you can see like the scar still there, and then and then his red sash on his gi. So I really like that, and I like the no way in hell essay. So.
I just love Benny's oh shit face. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh, like that's beautiful. You don't see him looking surprised much in throughout this series. He's, very stoic, very powerful, and then he's like, "Oh shit!" Like, really caught me off guard. Great work on that, Dan.
Thank you. All right, awesome, y'all. I'm gonna move on to the next one.
Page 36, I think.
Page 36, and this is where it starts to get a little hairy. If it was going smooth before, who knows? So the Iris, they kick their way into the Airstream, and who's there? Your boy Grisha. And he has only one thing to say: ladies and gentlemen, the missing link. Stand back, Ben, or she gets 2 to the head. Oh, you know what? Screw it. And just shoots Benny right in the shoulder. This is the kind of guy we're doing. Not stand back or I'll do it. Stand back and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of character we're dealing with Grisha. And so he gets the girl, and then all of a sudden in that bottom panel, you start seeing the Airstream starting to twist. And which leads us to, and I'm just going to jump over to the next one, but leads us to this.
Dun, dun,
So,
dun.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah, which leads us to all of a sudden he's looking out the window, and who's holding the Airstream? Kung Fu Thulu. Thulu's back, folks. We've brought him back into the story, and if only for a limited time, but he'll be back. There's more.
Yeah, oh yeah. There's always room for more Kung Fu Thulu.
Yeah, it might not
have
fit
a
the
blast
mold,
with
but
that
it's
character.
cool. Yeah. So anyway, Cthulhu's got the Airstream, and they've realized that they put a block on the area. He can't phase. He can't throw a portal. So what do you do in this situation? Then he has it down in one word: attack. And I love this.
Ass.
Yeah, and I love this. Diego goes, "Do we jump on 3 or 1?" And he just goes, "Now." And I that was just a little. I liked that little line. Do we jump on 3 or 1? I just thought that gave me a chuckle when we were writing that.
Yeah.
And can I point out,
please?
So like he has like the glowing cybernetic eye, because in issue 1, Benny exploded out of his eye socket.
Yes.
One of my favorite scenes.
Yeah. That was I was tickled to see that.
Didn't see it coming.
Hey!
Absolutely not. Man, you are good with the one-liners here.
He is the pun master.
Around, bud.
Yes.
And all right.
Yeah.
All right. Chris, you got anything? And Robert, anybody?
So like I said before, bringing him back in was awesome. Seeing him just pop into this panel, like, so villainous, very excited. And again, going, like you just said, going back to issue 1, that throwback. Why is the eye like that? Love it.
Cool.
Yeah, I was going to add that I know when I first started reading the comic book, I felt that Benny was a loner, but at this point in this comic book, I feel like he's part of the team now, or he's a team now.
Yeah.
He's a team player. He cares about Iris. He's got the bunny with him. He doesn't trust Diego as much, but he's still going with him. So I kind of like that aspect of it. And then again with the triangle stuff on his necklace and his back. I love that. It's always like a reminder that, hey, he's a soldier. So anyway,
he is. And if you look at the back patch, well, we saw the back patch one time in issue 2, but if you look, that the illustration on this back patch is actually the same illustration from the 5th page of book 2, where there's a scene in book 2 where Typhon is in the Unreal and he's looking down at Benny, and it's the same wingspan and all of that. I just clipped that and made it into the back patch. So we alluded to Typhon early on in book 2 a couple of times. We never said him by name, but yeah. And then the patch shows the same creature again. So.
And I just love how the bunny is looking at Benny. Like, what are we gonna do? He's like, attack. And then in the bottom, the very last panel, it shows you still made it to where he's still looking at Benny. So yeah, it's really starting to like the bunny here.
Great, man. I love the bunny.
Yeah.
And I loved it on this page. This page to me was too much fun. This was too much fun to draw. You got him in motion. There's helicopters, everything's around them. The guys are making the jump, and Benny, with all signs pointing not in his best situation, he's like, this ends now, and he's like, I'm a warrior to the end. I mean, with all the questions of who is he and what is he about, sometimes you can have compassion, you can have kindness, and all those other things that Benny exudes, even though he doesn't even realize it, but he's a warrior to the end. And for whatever reasons, he has to continue the fight. And I'm just going to stop at this page for right now, but And because this is, he says, this ends now, and Grisha says to him, no, Benny, the story will continue. And as what happened to him in the first issue, he's being fucked with again, and he says, activate the Hinagon. But the last time we saw him activated, he grew up to be the size of Godzilla, and King Kong or whatever, and beheaded Cthulhu in one fell swoop. This is a little different this time. Our boy is being activated, but in a completely different situation, And as he says the words activate the Hinagon, I immediately feel my back straighten, my eyes start to burn, and my mind goes, Benny, get right, Hermano. We have to stop the return of Typhon. Benny. And Grisha picks up the rabbit and is holding the rabbit, and he says, no need to worry about your brother, Diego, nor the father's return.
Yeah.
Daddy's got it under control. And that's how we're going to end it. Benny's been activated. Diego's up Schitt's Creek, and to be continued.
Yeah. To which I said, no.
Yeah. I don't like that he has the bunny. That's what's worrying me.
You and me both. You and me both. Because when I saw that tentacle, I'm like, of course, the one time the bunny's on the ground, he gets snatched up. All this other time, the bunny's been in the hands, on the shoulder, everywhere. And the one time he's on the ground, he gets got.
He got scooped up.
Yeah,
he did. And I saw that tentacle, and I was like, no, please, no. And then I saw him in the hands, and I was like, oh, you gotta be shitting me. Like, I was so done with it. And then it ends on I'm waiting for like 4 more pages, and it ends on this cliffhanger. And I was like, Jan, you got me again.
The bunny does look concerned. His ears are back. You can see his pupil pretty good.
Yep.
So he looks concerned.
On the other page.
Yeah.
And look at his eye. Just look at his eye. Look at the colors of his eyes. I just want you to hold on to that, and I'm moving back over to the next page. Okay. So there you go.
Dan has wanted to do a scene like that for a while, like with Grisha grabbing up the bunny.
Yeah.
And like to have it right here at this pivotal moment, I think it going where we're going with it, it's like it's going to pay off, and it's going to make it that much more impactful. So just keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything for this ending, this cliffhanger of an ending, Steven?
So chapter 4, when does it come out?
Oh goodness.
Yeah. The script will be done by the end of the month. Our goal is to have the script done by November, and Domenico Pagano is going to be drawing book 4 and 5 for us. So
if you want to get a preview of what his art looks like,
you want me to show him the page? Okay. Let me.
I was just going to say, look at that pinup at the
I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull up the page. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Moving on. Share that. Get back to this. Okay, yeah. So no, thank you. This is Domenico's artwork. That's his lines. That's my colors. We're going to be working together in tandem with each other.
Okay.
So yeah, he'll be drawing it. I'll be coloring it for him. And we actually, he's doing the prequel, not prequel, but it's a prequel story of Bigfoot Knows Karate Grave Decisions that'll be appearing in Homebrewed Comics 0. So if you backed Bigfoot Knows Karate 3 or Crit Chapter 8 or Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter, you will get a coupon in your fulfillment boxes that allows you to buy Homebrewed 0, where you can get an anthology book that features Crit, Caspian Porter, Celestial Knight, Bigfoot Knows Karate, and Mo Lubasan's story that I cannot remember what it's called right now, but it's really cool looking, I assure you. Okay, and you can buy that. You can get the coupon with the coupon code at the back in your Bigfoot Knows Karate 3 fulfillment. Go to homebrewedcomics.com, type in the code into our store, and you can purchase yourself a holofoil version of this limited quantity book. We're only doing. When this is gone, this is gone. It's just the holofoils. We may put this out as a regular edition later on, but this is a beautiful book, amazing stories. Go check it out. Excuse me, I'm still burping. Chris, you have anything you want to add to that real quick?
I mean, I think by now you've nailed the Homebrewed 0 pitch. I will say it was Dan's baby from the very beginning. This was his idea. We just played in his sandbox with it. Um, I, like everybody else, I don't know how to pronounce Mo's book. I'm gonna get Dan to talk, or Dennis to talk to him about that because I know they talk on the regular. I think the cool thing about us doing this, Homebrewed Zero, is we're doing it right. It was an homage to Image Comics, and we all know when they launched that, it didn't go as planned. So we're going to be doing it the right way. We've got it almost done. Um, and as Homebrewed Comics goes, we're fulfilling all three of these books within the next week or so. I think they're all shipping out. I think PDFs. Mine will be going out today or tomorrow once I get the final go ahead on a few things. But we've got three books coming out. We've Bigfoot Knows Karate has been a big addition to the team. So I was really happy to bring him on this year, and we've got some big plans. I'm going to keep using big because it's Bigfoot Knows Karate, and we got big things in the works. I'm excited to see. Yeah, I'm excited and sad to see a main entry done not by Dan, but the artwork that he's produced and shown me looks awesome, and the Homebrew Zero pages look awesome. So I think fans of the series are not gonna feel any which way going into the next book. So really excited for you guys. And I just want to say too, as someone who's been here since day one with this series, I've seen it grow. I've seen you guys, you and Dan and Casey, both of you, storytelling wise, it's one of the strongest ones in the community, hands down. And you guys do a great job every book of bringing not just action-packed story, but deep, dark tones and keep people coming back for more. So this didn't let me down at all. In fact, made me more excited for the next book, and I'm stoked for you guys.
Awesome. Thanks,
Awesome.
man.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Chris. Thank you for that. Seriously. This has
Yeah.
been the most fun I've ever had making an indie comic for sure. Working on Bigfoot Knows Karate, it's been a blast. I mean, working with Casey and all the weird shit that we've come up with for the series.
And
We've touched
continue to
on
come up with.
and come up with, yeah, I mean, we just had we were talking about the souls thing, and a few pages back in the middle of the book we were talking about souls, and Casey and I had a very long discussion about what we're going to be doing with all of that. These breadcrumbs, all these little things that we get to play with, and we're just so excited to play with more of it because there's some good shit out there that we're going to get into.
That conversation we had really made me think of right at the beginning of this when we were coming up with this crazy weirdo book, and it put me in that same like headspace of like, oh, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's I want to just thank Dan for sacrificing his fingertips for 40 pages of art. That is like in and of itself, like, oh my God, that is a lot of artwork. And he takes this really, really, really seriously. And I know he felt under the gun with like the deadlines and all that, but he kept spitting out just bangers of pages. Just you sometimes see people when they're under a deadline, especially with art, taking the path of least resistance. And
Didn't I?
I don't
Didn't I?
think
I
you
mean, come on
did.
now. Oh my God, you don't even know.
You really made it a point to go in and just do some crazy pages on this, and I don't think that people are. In fact, I'm fairly certain people are not going to be disappointed. The quality of this book only keeps getting more, and like you keep raising the bar.
Yep.
Both of you
And
do.
100%.
Both of you do.
100%.
it's
Yeah, Casey. I mean,
it's a lot of
seriously, yeah,
fun.
you're talking about me, but I mean, come on, about you, dude. You're the greatest writing partner in the world. You're an amazing
I
writer
appreciate
unto
that.
yourself, and I can't wait to see what you do with Temps. If y'all don't know,
Yeah.
Casey working on a thing called Temps. He doesn't talk about it with anybody, but it's amazing.
It's
And
it's gonna be
it's
fun.
it's amazing, and I can't wait to see when that comes to completely to fruition, because it's going to be beautiful. And I
Oh,
learned so much from writing with you, and I enjoy writing with you, and I can't imagine doing this book without you, man. So,
Thanks,
you
man.
know,
Yeah,
I
it's
yeah,
love the
but
love.
oh, nothing but love. And and I mean, I just want to say also real quick, thank you to everyone who read the book, who's watching this today. Thank you to Casey. Thank you to the Bigfoot Club Podcast guys, Stephen and Robert. Thank you,
No problem.
Chris, to you and to Dennis and to Drew. Thanks for giving Bigfoot Knows Karate a home, and at Homebrewed, and allowing me to hang out with you guys and make comics and do shit. And we've got a lot of crazy stuff in the works that we can't even talk to y'all about on this thing right now. Just get ready for some cool stuff. And just it's been an amazing ride these last couple of years working on this project, and I can't wait to see what we do with with more of it, more years and more time to keep going and make comics. And Kat, thank you for being here for the fourth one of these
yeah,
director's
Kat, thanks
commentaries.
again.
Of
Like
course. Always a pleasure and
you,
always honored. Yeah.
well, you know
Yeah.
how much you mean to Casey and I.
Yeah.
You know that, and
You guys know you guys have a special place in my heart as well. So,
absolutely. And Chris says you're going to be hanging out with us in
yes.
North Carolina next week.
Yes. They're
Awesome. You
not
bringing
ready for
Zach with
us.
you? Are
Yes,
you
I
bringing
am bringing
Zach?
Zach with me.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to finally get
Yes.
because I don't think I've ever met him. So I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm ready.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
All
going to be
right.
great.
So, you want me to shut it down?
Yeah, I mean, thank you all for hanging out with us, the six of y'all today, and five of y'all today, and me, and and doing this for us. Anybody have any parting words before Kat wraps it up? I guess. Anything y'all want to plug the podcast,
Oh,
fellas?
yes. Please plug the podcast so they know where to find you guys.
Yeah, we're on anything that you could play podcasts on. You could find us on Bigfoot Club Podcast.com, but we're on all platforms. We even on Alexa. If you say Alexa, play Bigfoot Club Podcast.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
So we're
Nice.
everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today. Chris, do you have anything else you want to drop on us?
There's a lot of things I'd love to talk about that we're not allowed to talk about that we will talk about one day.
right.
But no, as far as Bigfoot Knows Karate, happy to have a home here with Homebrewed Comics. Happy to have you and Casey here with us. We're gonna grow immensely in the next year. I can't wait to go into some of that stuff. But like I said, you guys brought and continue to bring some of the top-notch indie comic storytelling, art and personalities. You guys are just you're great people too. So sometimes you meet a creator behind an awesome book and you're like, man, I don't want to talk to that guy again. You guys are you you're just passionate about what you do. It shows in all the work, and I'm really glad the fans get to experience such an awesome story.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Appreciate you.
You guys keep your eyes peeled for this is issue 3. The arc is going to end on issue 5. So we got 4 and 5, and then we have Bigfoot Knows Karate. Can I say the other thing that we have in process now?
Yeah, go for it.
Bigfoot Knows Karate God Killer. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going to be a fun story. We'll get into that later though. So just kind of, keep your
Penny
eyes
is accused
peeled.
of the murder of Odin, and that's all we're going to say. Moving on. Okay.
Nice. All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Dan told us
Well,
everything.
yeah.
I told them all.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, is my bunny going to be put down? Is Diego going to deactivate Bigfoot? What is going to happen next? You have to stay tuned. You have to continue on the story with the rest of us. I want to give a big shout out to the Bigfoot Club Podcast, Robert and Steven for joining us, Homebrew Comics, Chris, Dennis, and of course, the creators of this wonderful, wonderful world that has sucked us in and won't let us go. Dan and Casey, we appreciate you more than words can ever express, because now I'm hooked and you left me with a cliffhanger. So obviously I'm coming back for number 4. If you guys have not picked up any of these comics previously, what are you doing with your life? Go ahead and pick them up and go ahead and follow everybody on here, because their comics are wonderful. I'm not just saying that because they're my friends. I'm saying that because it's the truth. And we will catch you in the next one. Have a great one, everyone.